Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.
Well, Nigeria is in a desperate situation. Nigerians are in a desperate situation. The country is in dire straits. People are hungry. It's not about poverty. When you talk about poverty, understates the fact. Poverty connotes lack of money in the pocket. But this is just gone beyond poverty. There is hunger in the land. People are very hungry, the kind of hunger that evokes memories of Biafra, the hunger that exists in war-torn countries, where you have starvation and you have poshoko and people are starving to death. That's what is happening in Nigeria. When they talk about palliatives, it takes me down memory lanes. It reminded me of those days we went to refugee camps looking for relief food from Caritas and the Red Cross. But that was in Biafra, that was during the war. But in a country like Nigeria, quite a wealthy country, I don't understand. We're not in a war situation. There's not been any war in Nigeria for the last 54 years. Why are we in this situation? Something has gone terribly wrong with this country. And that's what this musician, Idris Abdul Karim, was talking about in his music. He was taking a swipe at Buhari, taking a swipe at APC and the present president. There are rumors that, I don't know if that's true, some apocryphal sources are saying that the president wants the DSS to arrest him. I will not be surprised if the president wants the DSS to arrest him, because this government lives in its own make-believe world. It's so detached from reality, so unconcerned about the increasing economic miseries of Nigeria. You have in Nigeria where people are struggling under the economic strangulation of the masses, and an economy that is teetering at the brink of a collapse. But the president is living there, and his entourage, they are living large. You'll be disconcerted by their flamboyance, their arrogance of power, their triumphalism, and their misplaced priority. In a country hobbled by economic hardship like Nigeria, the president should keep a modest profile. But when your entourage is usually, your motorcade contains more than 120 most expensive cars in the world, 120 of them trailing the president wherever he goes, then it shows insensitivity to the sensibilities of Nigerians. And then you see the profligacy, the waste of money, the misplaced priorities. How can the president budget that 90 billion for the subvention of Hajj travelers? Just traveling to Hajj is a privilege. It's for the elect few, those that can afford it. So why this process of taking away necessities from the masses so as to enhance the luxury, the waste and extravagance of the elite few? And things like refurbishing, renovating the vice president's house with 15 billion. That is misplaced priority in a country where people can barely, many Nigerians can eat 1 square meal a day. There's so much that has gone wrong. Insecurity remains. Insecurity remains. We still have bandits in that they are scandalizing impunity and sense of entitlement. They talk as though they're entitled to rape and kill and kidnap, with the government doing nothing about it. We still have Fulani headsmen rampaging through the Middle Belt and southern Nigeria. in their unhinged murderousness, just killing, looting, sacking villages with the obvious acquiescence of the government. Boko Haram is there, separatist forces around the southern Nigeria, and nothing is changing. But what do you expect to change? The president came to power talking about Emil Loko. I watched that video where the president talked about Emil Loko. Ojangidege, ojigide, ejangedege, ojigide, ojangada. I said, is this man a poet or a musician? He will say something and end it with Oluze, ejangadaga, Oluze, ejongodogo, Oluze. So I said, what is this man saying? He ran the first time, he failed. He ran the second time, he failed. He ran the third time, he failed. I made him the president. Therefore, it's my turn. So he came to power under the arrangement that is his turn. And even before he came to power, he said, I will continue where Buhari stopped from. That is, I'll continue with Buhariism. What is Buhariism? Pandering to bandits. What is Buhariism? Giving amnesty to Boko Haram repentance and even integrating them into the army. What is Buhariism? Support for the mass murder of innocent Nigerians by Fulani headsmen. What is Buhariism? Poverty, hunger, deepening poverty, widening raw debt poverty, and hunger across the land. That's what he told us he will continue with. So that's one aspect of our problem. You are reinforcing an already very perilous condition. But then let's look at the president himself, because we lack prophetic powers. Consequently, we cannot prophesy. At least I do lack prophetic powers. So I cannot prophesy about the future. So we can only anticipate his presidency from his antecedents. Look at what he's done in the past. That will tell you what he will do in future. The wife was once in her oratorical best. And like a Casanova trying to sweet talk a credulous damsel, she said, my husband and I are already very rich. That was before the election. So we are not coming to power or seeking power so as to make money. We will not be tempted by the serenes of life, the materialism of the office of the president. We will only serve the people, devote all our energy, because there's nothing we are looking for already. Our audience, like a naive girl falling for the sweet talk of a smooth operator, accepted what she said. But the applicable and reasonable question would have been, what is the source of your money? Neither you nor your husband is a scholar. You're not elaborately erudite. You are not notably versatile. So you could not have written a bestseller, global bestseller, that gave you millions of naira. None of you was a dancer, singer, or actor. Couldn't have made your money in entertainment. You were not notable in business or the professions. So where did your money come from? It came from greed. It came from corruption. It came from theft, especially the depredation of Lagos State. They didn't ask that question. So if your antecedent is wayo, if your antecedent is stealing state money, and then even after he left office, this kind of pension, what is continues to milk Lagos State with his mind-boggling pension. He continues to railroad a continuum of governors into directing an alarming proportion of the state's funds into his personal account every month. So this man is a man that does not care. He's a man that wants to enrich himself. He's a man that has perfected the art of emptying the state coffers. And the people he surrounded himself with are his henchmen who hone their skills of stealing state funds in Lagos State, the Minister for Finance, Central Bank, those are his henchmen that helped him to make the staggering amount of money the wife was talking about. So for him himself, we don't expect much from him. It will be a continuum of what Buhari left, which I have listed already. And it also means his own approach to things, his own approach for things, which is looting, stealing, empowering himself, family members, cronies, associates, and rewarding loyalists. So that's why we are in this situation, because a combination of Buhariism, a mixture of Buhariism with Tinubuism, can at the very best be a disastrous experiment.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.